All right. Hello, hello. Can everyone hear me all right? Rada, Ben in chat, stopping by, helping me do a little bit of YouTube stream testing here. Hopefully you all can hear me okay. Let me know if you can't. You're kind of my you're going to be my initial helpers in this endeavor. Great sound quality. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm trying to get that set up, trying to get lighting set up, as well as green screen and just a whole bunch of stuff here. So I usually stream on Twitch, so it was a little bit of a change in setup here for YouTube, and I'm trying to just figure out how it all works here. So excuse me if I'm kind of messing with some windows. Again, I'm just trying to get everything set. Yeah, John, I'm here. Thanks for stopping by. I was going to talk some MISC Expanse tonight. Usually on Twitch, I have kind of a group of people that follow the Fleet Viewer project. Are any of you a fan of the Fleet Viewer project? Hey, it's Puppet Master. Hey, Puppet, hope you're doing well. Salute, buddy. For those of you that don't already know or who did see our last STARJUMP Station episode, which still hasn't been uploaded to YouTube, I need to do that tonight. Puppet Master will be doing a new show for STARJUMP called STARJUMP Frontiers, where he's going to discuss ships and go into detail on them. So Ben says, can't wait for the Fleet Viewer. Yeah, so I'll show off a little bit of the MISC Expanse for the Fleet Viewer tonight. I've been working on that for the past past day, essentially. And that's going to be the thing is every time a new ship comes out, we're going to have to prep it for Fleet Viewer. I'll give a little update on Fleet Viewer. I'll show off the MISC Expanse for Fleet Viewer, which is this will be the first time anyone's seen it for Fleet Viewer, because I just got the model a day or two ago, and I've just been working on it. And what else? We'll just talk about the Expanse here for a little bit and test out the streaming setup. Let me ask you all, can you hear how does the music in the background sound? Is it loud enough? Too loud? Can you all hear that? I've got it really low because sometimes music can annoy me. Ben says, I don't have you on my live subscribers list. Anyone else have that issue? Barely hear the music. Okay, cool. So it's kind of low. That was on purpose, but let me bring it up just a tad. Dave, hello. Thanks for stopping by, hanging out with us. Zero music, and I have you quite loud. Okay, that's fine. I don't want the music loud or anything. I want it to be very quiet, almost imperceptible. Ben, I don't know anything about the live subscriber list. That's something obviously I will want to get figured out as well. So just so everyone knows, I usually stream on Twitch, but I found that there's a lot of things about Twitch I do not like, and I feel YouTube is a better place for the type of stuff I do. Topic discussion, Fleet Viewer stuff, model kit bashing, all that kind of stuff. So I think Fleet Viewer is the better place for that. So yeah, this is kind of the initial tryout of that. Let's see. Stand by here. I'm just relaunching something here. Let's go to okay, Ben says, you know how the red symbol comes up on the right side of your name? I don't have you on my list. It could be my... Okay. Yeah, let me know, Ben, if you find out about that. I mean, it definitely could be my issue. I don't know. Again, I'm still learning this, but yeah, if you don't mind looking that up, Ben, and seeing what you can find, that'd be appreciated. Again, I'm learning the YouTube streaming situation here. Puppet says it's perfect for there where you are quiet but barely perceptible when talking. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Puppet. Appreciate that. Let's switch over. So I'm also, in addition to testing the streaming setup, I am testing my Stream Deck. So that's a whole other thing. So I am going to switch over to that now here. Hopefully that'll work. Okay, we are looking at all right, yeah, we are looking at the Expanse page here. Hopefully everyone sees it. How's my video quality on my picture-in-picture window? Is it okay? I know I got a little green screen kind of edging right here, but as long as the picture quality is generally okay. All right, let's talk a little bit about the MISC Expanse, and then I'll open up Fleet Viewer or the Expanse for Fleet Viewer, and you can check that a little bit. Let's see, let me pop open something as well. Okay. Shows is live on YouTube, but future shows you'll want to do it as a scheduled premiere. Okay, great. Okay, cool. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Puppet. Yeah, that's a good... I saw the option there for Premiere, but I didn't click that. So, Puppet, does the Premiere just alert people that a show is about to begin? Does it, like, send out an alert, I guess, to subscribers? Is it all my subscribers, do you know? Okay, everyone, let's talk a little bit about the MISC Expanse. Obviously, this was the new solo entry-level refinery vehicle announced back on a previous ISC, and then went on concierge sale yesterday, and then full sale to everyone else today. Puppet says, yeah, a lot of people do it from hours up to a day in advance. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Thanks, everybody. So, thanks for stopping by, hanging out with us a little bit. So, yeah, the Mystic Expanse, pretty cool ship. Obviously, just kind of announced. So, this is a brand new one for all of us. Solo entry-level refinery ship. Really interesting ship for a few key reasons, and we'll dig into the model here in a second. Oh, it's Mud Dog from the Texas Space Navy. Yes, Texas, it does seem to be working. Thanks for stopping by. We're just talking MISC Expanse tonight. I'm going to show... I'm going to kind of reveal the MISC Expanse for Fleet Viewer tonight. I've been working on the MISC Expanse model, and I think it's ready to kind of show off. So those of you hanging out here get to kind of see that for the first time. Oh, it's my one of my favorite people in the entire world, Starlet, stopping by. Hey, Starlet, salute to you, dear. For those of you who don't know, Starlet is the magician working on all the back end for Fleet Viewer. Again, tonight, I'm really just testing my YouTube streaming to see how that goes. I got a lot of advice from people in the Star Citizen community, other content creators, that really suggested I go to YouTube instead of Twitch. Ender said that, but I had a lot of other content creators say the same. Space Tomato and others really wanted me to head to the YouTube. They felt like it was a better home. So I agree. So we're going to try it. So this is going to be our new home going forward for a lot of my content. So hopefully everyone digs that. So let's go through a little bit of the Expanse, and then I'll show it off for Fleet Viewer. Obviously, the MISC Expanse is a solo refinery ship, a rather large ship for a solo ship, but we'll get more into that. It's about 33 meters long, if I'm not mistaken. It carries 8 essential prospector ore bags. It has a rear tractor beam and extraction mount for those bags, as well as a rather large refinery with, I believe, 8 refinery cookers inside the ship, as well as some other geometry that you may not have been able to see too well just from the concept images, and we'll get into that. So it works really great with prospectors, obviously, because it can take those bags off the prospectors. However, if you read clearly through the ship's description, it says here that it can support the UE standard mineral storage pods used throughout the Empire, and it kind of seems to stress that it's going to be able to work with the mole and stuff. Fraser, thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm glad I moved to YouTube as well. I'm feeling good about it. And obviously, all of you that follow us on and subscribe to us on YouTube, I can't thank you enough for all the amazing support you've given, myself and just all of STARJUMP since the beginning. So, really cool image here. I love how I wish CIG would do even more of these type of images where you see the ship doing the thing it's specifically meant to do. Is it 6 refinery cookers, Kenneth? Okay. Thank you. Oh, yep, you're right. There's 6 up there. Did I say 8? Okay. Thank you for that correction. I appreciate it. But we actually see the little people out here EVAing out to the ship. You see the rear tractor beam and stuff grabbing the pod and pulling them over from the prospector. We don't see concept art in this fashion a lot, where we're seeing an action, especially between 2 ships happening. So I think that's really cool. I hope they do a lot more concept art like that. But this also gives you a little bit of size indication between it and the prospector. So, obviously we talked about the processing on board, the 6 cookers in here. You're gonna be able to kind of look and watch that process. Discover the Expanse here. Obviously cockpit's got 2 size 1. Is it 2 size 1 guns? Yeah, twin size 1 pilot controlled weapons. And y'all feel free to ask any questions or anything on any STARJUMP projects or the Expanse or anything Star Citizen if you want. Yeah, they do ships interacting with fighters all the time, but that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about ships doing a specific task, you know what I mean, like an industrial task or trading task or whatever, but not only doing that task but also interacting with other ships on like a gameplay loop cycle. We rarely see that, so I think that's pretty cool. A lot of this ship, so the ship's actually much smaller than you think from a livable standpoint. It's really just this area and then this access point down here, just kind of this area right over my head. The rest of the ship is almost all industrial area that you can't access. Texas says, it'll be interesting to see how they implement this ship. It needs to be able to refine quicker than a space station refinery, but how do they explain that? Yeah, the only thing I thought about, Mud Dog, was that maybe, and they'd have to kind of build this in, but maybe the stations are slower just because of the queue, you know what I mean? Maybe there's always going to be like NPC loads going through the queue as well. So I don't know. That's a good question. So, oh yeah, Puppet just said that. Yeah, again, I think it could be some sort of excuse like that. Okay, so MISC Expanse, 35.5 meters long, 10.75 meters tall, 21.1 meters wide. Had a couple people ask if the MISC Expanse would fit in the Odyssey. It's almost assuredly a no, but we'll test it out tonight if you all want to see that live, see if it'll work. Carries 64 SCU, that's 8x8 SCU, so we kind of knew that. And it's got a size 1 tractor beam utility mount. I was actually surprised that wasn't a size 2, but I get it. A couple really cool images here. So I actually thought the MISC Odyssey was created by a good friend of STARJUMP, Gavin Rothery, who's one of the freelance ship designers for CIG. He's designed the most ships for CIG, everything from the MISC Odyssey to the RSI Perseus, the Drake Kraken, and tons of other ships, the Argo Raft, the Argo Mole. Just one of CIG's best designers, and I really thought this was a Gavin Rothery ship. But I spoke to him just the other day, and it's kind of funny. I said, "Hey, congratulations on the MISC Expanse. It's a really cool ship. You did a great job on it." And he asked me what I was talking about. He was like, "I don't know anything about that ship." So, anyways, really cool concept art of the MISC Expanse. It's a really interesting looking ship. I love the cockpit profile. Again, I know some people dislike the thin kind of window for MISC ships, or a lot of MISC ships, but I really dig it. What we see here is kind of a close-up of the prospector ore bag retrieval and extraction sort of thing. So we have the tractor beam working here above it. It brings the cargo pod up, cargo pod connects, and boom, that ore is siphoned out. Another one of the MISC flying away. These are great shots, pretty painterly. Ship's got a great profile. I love the little wings up here. It does take some cues from the MISC Odyssey, which is definitely a Gavin Rothery ship, but I think they play play very well together. Okay, let's go ahead and and so they're selling a couple things here. They're selling the Miners Pack. They have the Expanse, but then they also have the Stardust. I think, is it called the Stardust paint for Concierge? Ben says, just to update, it's showing you as live now. It appears to be a common lag issue for some users only. I guess I was one. Okay. Thanks, Ben, for looking into that. Appreciate it. Texas says, I believe they said they were using Geon tractor beam tech on this too. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. Okay, so, and yeah, everyone, so this wasn't necessarily a scheduled stream. I really just said, you know what, let me test real quick. Let's go into Cinema 4D real quick here. So those of you that have ever watched any of my, that's a great question, Puppet. That would have been a good name, the Stardust. That would have been a great name, actually. But let's see here. I'm going to open up a couple of things here. So we're going to go ahead and open up the MISC Odyssey, which we're going to be taking a look at here in a minute, because we're going to test to see if the Expanse can fit in the Odyssey. Again, it almost assuredly cannot, but we will test it. Let's see here. Junior says, Junior, thanks for stopping by. Scott Black, thanks for stopping by. Kenneth, the rest of you, if I missed anyone, really appreciate you coming by, hanging out, and testing my YouTube stream with us. Junior says, fun fact, the moles ore bags are the same size prospector bags. The moles bags look longer because of the 2 extra compressed bags on it. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's cool. Kenneth Scott says, should have been the processor. Then we'd have the prospector and the processor. It's not bad either. I like that. I like that. Yeah, we might be able to make a cool or a little bit of magic happen. So we are going to specifically look at the MISC. Let's bring it up here. I got so many windows up here. So I'm going to show you all real quick it's not complete yet. I don't want to call it complete, but I'll show you what the Expanse looks like for the Fleet Viewer project, because I just finished it. All right. There is the MISC Expanse for Fleet Viewer. It's not done. I do have to do some detailing to it and get it completed. There's a few areas that need some texture love. I'll get to that. Don't worry. So just so everyone knows, the Fleet Viewer project, when it comes to concept ships, meaning ships where there's no file accessible to image it for Fleet Viewer, we obviously have to take some leaps, right? We have to get a little creative. And the MISC Expanse is one of those ships, right? So you can rip the holo model straight from the RSI website right now. But when you look at that holo model, it has no textures on it. It's just a white model, right? It has no details, no decals, no textures, no texture tags, meaning, hey, this is plastic, this is metal, this is gold, this is silver. None of that stuff. It's just a white model. So I have to take the model and start texture tagging all of it to sort of complete something that doesn't look exactly like the concept art, because remember, even the concept art has differences in it from shot to shot, depending on what artists worked on it. And believe me, even in the Expanse, I can go from concept art to concept art and find differences in the ship that are not consistent. So the goal when I'm doing a concept ship is to do something that's indicative of what the concept art looks like, right? Excuse me. So what we're trying to do here is give off the vibe of what this ship will ultimately look like. And sometimes that takes varying forms. For example, if I was to pull up the Endeavor for Fleet Viewer, or one of them, this would be one of them, right? So I modeled all the gardens for the biodomes and the farms and textured out the Endeavor and all that. But we're going to do that for all of them. So again, no modules for the telescope array exist in game files. They don't exist as holo viewer models. So we had to create all that. So while this may not be on the concept ships specifically, while this may not be exactly what it ends up looking like, we try to get it as close as possible. Okay. So again, this is our Expanse model for Fleet Viewer. Catch up on a couple questions here. Junior, strange. If true, we have to make Grim comparing the live force. You're talking about the cargo bags, I'm guessing. Okay. Junior says he did the comparison in Graham and was shocked to see both ship bags are the same size. I wouldn't doubt it, Junior. The only reason and I've heard everyone lately has been saying the mold bags are technically bigger, but in the Expanse brochure or concept or reveal website, they do say that it holds standard UEE ore bags, as if there's some sort of boilerplate standard for that. So I could see that being the case. Scott Black says, what's the thing where the turret would be, Grim? Are you talking about right up here, Scott, right up here at top? Why don't we go into, we're going to go into the model here. Let's go into the model and get our hands dirty a little bit. I think we could probably make some guesstimates, maybe. Let's bring up the Expanse. All right, here's our Expanse model. Okay. So I'm assuming you're talking about this up here, right? I'm just going to highlight. It looks to me, let me switch around here. It looks to me as if this thing can almost move along this rail. I really don't know. It almost looks as if it's some sort of top by the pilot where a kiter would be. It doesn't look like a light to me, Puppet, because typically with lights, even on the holo models, they have what look to be a piece of glass there, right? What this looks like to me, it looks like a tractor beam, but we know it's not a tractor beam because the tractor beam is actually back here. Now, it's not technically in this model yet, or at least I didn't see it in the model, because we know this is where the ore retrieval bag, ore retrieval system is. But the this, I don't know what this could be. Possibly something to do with refueling or pumping stuff out. It's got another interesting weird nozzle here. Again, that could be for refueling for all I know, or once the refineries have worked, maybe this can pump out to another ship. to be hauled off to sell. I don't know, but we've sort of got two unknown things there. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we know what it is. Here's something kind of cool though. I will I'm going to remove the pods. Okay, we'll take off these pods here on this side. And you can kind of see the internal workings. This is again why the ship doesn't have a huge amount of living space, because a lot of this back end is taken up by hardware, right? So here you can see some big grinder, refinery, machine system thingy, whatever. Kind of gives you an idea, and that goes all the way through. I'll turn around here. You can still see it here. Essentially, I've just removed the cargo pods. So pretty cool. Yeah, I will say this. Who actually said? So Mud Dog says, "I'm hoping this thing is a little ways into development." So I'll go ahead and say something about that. Mud Dog. Obviously, I've worked with a lot of hollow model ships, right, from the website. And what I can pretty confidently say is that this is one of the nicest hollow models I've ever seen them put out. Sometimes hollow models are just absolute garbage. This one was really nice, and part of me wonders if the ship is pretty far along, actually. It's very possible. Everyone, I'm going to grab my drink real quick. While that is coming, I'm just going to go ahead and pop up that image again, and I'll be right back. Give me 1 second, and I'll be right back. I see executes on. Yes, I believe it's further along. I'll be right back, everyone. Stand by. All right, I'm back. Execute, how are you, buddy? Hope you're well. Hope you are well. So yeah, I think this is pretty far along, this ship. Again, it's got one of the most refined hollow models I've seen in a long time. Other ships did as well. Like the Liberator has a pretty it feels like a pretty polished hollow model. I am speculating with that, though. It doesn't necessarily mean it'll be done, but I personally see refueling as something they could kind of push on pretty quickly. But anyways, I think it's pretty cool, though, when you take the cargo pods off here, you know, looking at the internals of the ship. I mean, it's going to have a lot of area for the refinery. You can see this this big tumbler thing here and these smaller tanks. They are right underneath those 6 reactor kind of tops. You still have quite a bit of room here in the back of the ship that obviously can bring in the pods on this side. I don't know exactly, I don't know exactly. 1 second here, everybody. Stand by. I don't know exactly what will occur when inside this area, or maybe if you're able to store bags in there, that would be kind of cool. Actually, I think this project's bugging out. Let me reload it. Okay, so I know there was some questions on One thing we were going to see is if, you know, how far the MISC Expanse was from fitting into the Odyssey. So we'll try that now. Is that something y'all want to see? Do y'all want to see if the Execute says STARJUMP? I think it's done. They have the skins and the hangar screenshots. Just need the cargo refactoring and the refinery gameplay. Yeah, I agree. Execute. You know, as we know, they've got, you know, skins already and you know, painting on for this. We'll have this for Fleet Viewer too as well. This particular skin. So this will be something you can spawn in Fleet Viewer. InfoRunners Execute says it fits because the freelancer does. Awesome. That's cool. I didn't know it would fit. Let's give it a shot. I do have to, so that will render properly. I do need to grab something real quick here to make this work. I need to grab the Odyssey's textures and paste them into the Expanse's texture folder. It's just something you have to do with this stuff. Okay. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we'll bring this over. Okay, and I need to do a measurement first to make sure we are currently measured properly. Does anyone know the let's confirm. Does anyone know the Odyssey's length again? Is it 140 meters long? Let's get the stats for this ship. 140, 35.5. Okay. All right, so how we get accurate measurements for the ships is we go to a top-down view. And we are going to turn both ships off for a minute. And we are going to go into and create, I need to change my project to meters. So we're going to go to units and we're going to go from centimeters to meters. Puppet says 140 meters. I knew Puppet would be the first out of the gate with that. All right, so we're going to do a 140 meter yardstick. That's our expanse length. And then we're going to do a 35.5 meter yardstick. Okay. There's our two yardsticks. We'll start with the Expanse first. The ship should mostly be to scale already. And yep, the Expanse is correct. And let's check the Odyssey. That should be right. I don't think they count those antennas. Okay, so we are going to, so our scale is right. Let's bring up our Expanse here. The good thing is we know that on the Odyssey, the hangar doors. Let's remove our little saber for a minute here. Let's take our Expanse. So far, so good, people. So far, so good. Ooh, the length is a little concerning. Oof. Oof. It's, I don't know. So, based off the current metrics, it is the Expanse is too long. But, man, just barely. The problem is the MISC has got guns and these antennas up front, which are going to cause an issue. Yeah. It fits, but it is pretty tight. Hey, Montoya, hope you're well, buddy. Nice to see you. Good old Montoya stopping by from Test Squadron. Montoya, how are you? I hope you're well. We are checking out the Expanse and seeing If this big old girl can get into the Misk Odyssey's cargo bay, I don't know though. It's a little tight. I think you gotta. The problem is these little antennas and the guns up front, and a little bit of the. It's just slightly too long, everybody. Just slightly too long, and you can almost get it in there. Yeah, just about. It's almost one of those situations where you're like, it makes you want them to just scale up the Odyssey just a bit so that it could fit the ship. Montoya, hope you were well. Tentacle, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, it's a shame you can't angle it. I guess you probably could. I could try that. It's a test landing. Yeah, exactly. What else we got? If XQ says, want to ask what you think about the saddlebags folding up against the engine nacelles. Let's see. And by the way, no, yeah, it's not going in at an angle either. It's just slightly too long. Damn, you almost wondered if they planned it that way. Looking at the saddlebags folding up along the nacelles, it does look like they fold in. I think they tuck in here, or they can tuck in, primarily because let me isolate just the pod, or just everything but the pods here. So here's a pod. Yeah, here's a pod. And you can see they got a couple of a couple rotation points. They got one underneath here. So that this one bit of armature here looks like it can rotate because it's got like a cylinder for rotation under here. It looks like a joint. And then not only that, but then it looks like it has an armature connecting here, this front black bracket with the hydraulics behind it. Looks like this entire thing can rotate down, but still keep the bag straight up and down. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be able to do that. I don't have it rigged to do that right now, but that is essentially what looks like is happening. Yeah. Montoya asks, how does it dump its load in space? Just out the back. Out the old poop chute. Junior says, I think you can get it to fit if the Odyssey doors to the rover bay stay open. Maybe. That'll be interesting to test for sure. That would be interesting to test. So yeah, Expanse, a little too big. But you know what? Why don't we bring in another bad boy? Let's bring in another ship. Let me grab it. I got to grab it out of my... Stand by. This will take just a minute. We will try it against... This Liberator is untextured. This is like an early version that I was working on. It's much further along for Fleet Viewer, but we're going to use it just for the sake of scale testing here. Liberator is... Puppet, can you give me a scale on the Liberator, please? Scale on the Liberator. Is it? Yeah, exactly, Brian. The Super Liberator. That's what we need right now. Puppet, I'm sure, is grabbing the Liberator's length for me. Why do I think the Liberator is 125 meters? I feel like the Liberator is 125 meters, right? Can anyone tell me the Liberator's length? I've got a scale. I'm going to scale my tiny little Liberator up. 119. Thank you, Puppet. Okay, 119 meters. We're going to scale up the Liberator to fit 270. We are going to then stand by, everyone. I'll be back at chat here in just a moment. Let me just get the Liberator up to scale. There it is. So 100. Okay, so by power of 10. Okay, cool. Okay. God. All right. Okay. So yeah, Expanse will have, obviously I don't have the landing gears for this hollow model, but we do know they come out the bottom of that center area, which will prop the ship up about that much. It's a high sitter. Plenty of room on the Liberator. So again, I think the Liberator, it's a weird ship, but I think it's going to make it be a great industrial platform just for ship maintenance, ship ship servicing, sort of like a rest stop for some of these ships. Oh yeah, I think you could probably fit 2 pretty easy. Yeah, without a doubt. I think you could fit 2. Still have a little room. And you could fit a prospector down there. Yep. Yep, you could do that. That wouldn't be difficult. That would not be difficult. Obviously, you could do the Super Liberator. The only difference between a regular Liberator and a Super Liberator is that the Super Liberator is super long, of course. So there you go. That's the Anvil capital ship that Starlet really wants. What Starlet really wants, I think, is this. This is what Starlet wanted. Am I right, Starlet? You wanted the real deal Liberator. You wanted the 300 meter long carrier, which I did too. So yep, there it is. Obviously the Odyssey is probably just a smidge too small in its internal hangar for the Expanse, but generally speaking, they could still easily adjust that. I mean, we're talking, it's a matter of probably 3 meters, so they can make the adjustment on the Odyssey. And the only real thing they would have to do is sort of stretch the back end out a little bit, which would probably mean stretching some corridors out and stuff. So I don't think it would be a huge deal to do that. I don't think it'd be a major thing. So, yeah. So there we go. Odyssey and Expanse. I'm pretty excited about the Expanse. I did go ahead and get one on credit today with some store credit I had. I am going to be all about the industrial gameplay. And, I'm looking for a way to be a part of that mining gameplay without like fully being a part of it or without being a full-on miner. And this looks like a really great way to do that. So, stand by, everyone. Pretty cool that we got so many viewers watching the stream right now. Again, we're just kind of testing it out. But we're probably going to start streaming on YouTube going forward. Not only STARJUMP Station, but my STARJUMP Skunkworks show, and just anytime I want to chat or do something like that, or do behind the scenes of Fleet Viewer. So expect more of that. Expect it to be on YouTube now. Part of that was Twitch was just kind of disappointing me in a few ways, especially like retaining viewers. Because obviously, while I don't particularly care about the viewer number, I still want the community to be able to see this. So, I had several people, including Ender, Space Tomato, and some other folks, say that I should really divert my efforts to YouTube. So this is where you'll be seeing me now. This is my inaugural YouTube testing stream. Oh, I will be we'll be doing a STARJUMP station next Friday here on YouTube. It'll be live, myself, Starlet, and Ender. We're going to be, I'll announce the topic for that one as we get a little closer, but I think it's going to be a pretty cool one, a little different. And I will be giving away, I'll be doing a giveaway for a Drake Vulture, which is a great ship to get ready for 318, which will be the Q2 patch. So probably sometime in, what will that be, late July or something like that. That ship will come out with tier 1 salvage, so I think everyone will be excited about that. If everyone wants here, before we jump off, I had a couple people ask about the Prospector, seeing this next to the Prospector, which is something we can do. Again, this is not the full-on like pretty model, but it's at least a model, so that we can work with, so we can sort of see a little bit of a side-by-side of these two ships. Let's go back to our Expanse. Okay, let me turn off joints. Okay, that's not the right size. Stand by, everyone. Prospector. Okay, just need to get our metrics here. So the Prospector is 24 meters long, so we're going to go back to a top view. We're going to create another measuring stick using our meters and do 24 meters long. Turn off our Expanse for a minute, and we will scale down the Prospector to hit that metric, which it does need to come down just a tad. Let's see here, stand by. Doesn't include the arm, by the way. 94.13. We're not exactly to the inch here. We're just trying to get something that's approximate. All right. Oops. All right. Excuse says, can you show it next to the Freelancer too? Yeah, I will do that next for sure. For sure. I think I have a freelance model ready. I think so. So obviously the Prospector the Odyssey sits much higher than the Prospector, but you can see here, let me move this over. I might intersect these models just a tad, sorry. You can see these bags here are roughly the same height, so these are pretty equal. Those are pretty much the same. So this should be roughly the scale difference between the two ships. So this, this Misk Odyssey it's not a huge ship. It just kind of looks that way, I think, a lot from the concept art. And it's got this design profile where it V's out, so it feels tall and feels very kind of imposing, whereas the Prospector's a lot sleeker. So it does feel a little bigger. But yeah, there's our two ships. Go down to more of a top-down. Obviously, the Expanse is much larger from a width perspective, a beam perspective. Hey, Pops in Space, hope you're well. Thank you for that nice message the other day. Really, really appreciate it. Hope you're well, Pops. Hope all the Soul Citizen community is doing great. I always run into Pops over there. Always enjoy checking them out. I was just on Soul Citizen the other day. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, we were talking about the monsters of the verse, right? We were talking about the big ships. The big ships for the UEE, and specifically we were talking about, where is it? Stand by. Yeah, we were talking about the big ships of the UEE, including, oops, nope, that's not it. Where did it go? We were talking about, where did it go? Stand by. Let me find it. Let me find it. I have it somewhere here. Yes, we're talking about this on Soul Citizens, which we were talking about big ships. You know, we're talking about you know, everything from sort of Idris level up. So Idris M, Idris P/K. Obviously, the Javelin, Starlet's favorite ship. The Bengal, the Pegasus/Panther. I'm guessing it's called the Pegasus, as well as the Retribution, which you see here. You're actually seeing Fleet Viewer assets. Except for the Pegasus. The Pegasus, that's just a kind of a stand-in. That ship does need more work by me. I'm still working on that. However, the Retribution is almost done. It's probably just got about another 30 minutes of work on it. But yeah, there they are. These are all to scale to one another, scaled in relation to each other. So if you saw the you know, the Javelin, or sorry, the Bengal last Invictus, this gives you a little bit of an idea of how big the Retribution is compared to that. Scott Black says, STARJUMP, does the Expanse have VTOL and the back engines turned down like the Cuddy? It might then fit to the Odyssey. Well, so I don't believe it does. I didn't see anything in the engine profile to suggest it rotates. The rear engines here, the main engines, primarily because they have this bit of superstructure that connects them to the main hull of the ship. There's no sort of like gimbal location for them to rotate. Now it does have these engines right here, which look like they're VTOLs, but they're also snugly packed onto the ship, so they aren't able to rotate without intersecting the hull unless they break out. I can give you a little bit of an idea by isolating. Let me turn off the Expanse, but turn on its thruster. There it is. So this is what's currently in the model for this. It sort of looks like it rotates, but I can't really tell, to be totally honest with you. Let me look. There's another VTOL. See, it says execute. The VTOL on the back are under, you can see the grills. Okay, let me see. Oh, yes, I see those now. I see those. Yeah, right here. These big VTOLs. Yep. Well, I mean, they're just big, permanently down-facing VTOLs. Yeah, I see those. Those are cool. But there's still no way to shorten the length of the ship, unfortunately, through VTOL, if that's what was originally being asked. But yes, these are some large VTOL engines right here. Yep. Large VTOLs. Pretty cool looking VTOLs, actually. What else we got here? Yeah, so unfortunately, again, it feels a little and I'll be honest with you, I thought it was probably going to be a little too big for the Odyssey. Obviously, the let me bring it up here again. Obviously, the Prospector is really, I think, the perfect companion for the Odyssey, and I don't. And again, you may not need. I don't know, because the Odyssey will fit in here very easily, but you may not. Again, this has its own refinery aboard anyway, so maybe that's why CIG really didn't put much thought into the Expanse having to fit in the Odyssey, because it already has a refinery on board. Possibly. That's my best guess. Is sort of like why bother? You know, it's got its own refinery on board. You don't need to park another refinery in it. So Puppet says, can you compare bag size versus the mole? Yes, I can attempt that. I don't know if I have a I don't know if I have a mole ready to rock and roll though, but let me check. Let me close some stuff here. I don't want to crash the machine. Let me see what I have. Vasily, it does appear that way. I will say this, there's different piping, and the Odyssey has, or the Expanse has sort of a little nozzle right here. So it's a little different than the than this one, which doesn't seem to have a nozzle anywhere. By the way, this doesn't look very good because you're seeing it in just preview mode. So yeah, it does look to have, like, it has 6 refineries on board maybe, but there seem to be some different piping. Let me look to see if I have a mole. Bear with me, everyone. Okay. All right, where are the mole's bags? Right here. Okay. The poets. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Okay, here is the mole's cage. We're going to test this. Hope everyone is doing well. Not too bored. I know I'm not HVTing right now. I'm blowing shit up, but hopefully everyone is finding this semi-entertaining. Okay. Stand by, everyone. It'll take me a minute to get this into check here, and I'll need to do a quick metric test. Stand by. I just need to double check metrics on it. So 45 meters long. Okay, so we're going to go back to our top view. Again, we got to go by our measurements here. I got to use our measuring stick here. So we're going to make a measuring stick 45 meters long to match the mole. And it looks like we are close. Stand by. We'll get it right, everybody. We'll get it right. We're a little long. That's okay. Happens. Actually, no, we're not long enough. What am I talking about? It's been a long day for me. I had to take my kid to Taekwondo today, and it was a journey. Okay, so here is our mole, and let's pop open our Expanse. Right? Did I do that the right way? Let's kill our prospector. Okay. So we're going to turn our mole on, turn our this on. Okay, here. Hello, hi from Kevin Townland. Hope you are well. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Here's a size comparison, by the way, with the mole and the Expanse, in case you're wondering size. All right, so let's check out the mole's cargo pods. Boom. There's our mole cargo pods. We're going to bring them down. And it does look like they are a standard size. To me, right? Looks pretty damn close, right? And again, I may not be exact on our scale here. I might just be a little off, but rest assured, I think the mole's 8 pods are standard. with the Expanse and the Prospector. So yeah, I think it'll be able to cover. They even look the same. So there you go. I think that looks pretty correct. I could be off on the size by like a few inches, but it's within the, it's within the margin of error for sure. So yeah, I would say that the Prospector, the Expanse, and the Mole can all work together. I had no doubt. Again, they said very specifically right here. Let's see, where does it say here? Yeah, it says here, the Expanse integrates seamlessly with all leading contemporary mining extraction systems, supporting the UEE standard mineral storage pods used throughout the Empire. So while it doesn't say it uses mole bags as well, what they're trying to say here is it doesn't just use the Prospector. It's almost like they go out of their way to say it uses a universal size bag. So yeah, I kind of expected that, but there you go. Hopefully that helps clear up a little bit of that curiousness. Yeah, there's our mole bag system right next to the Prospector, or right next to the Expanse. So yeah, so really it's just the mole carries double essentially. Let's see here. Scott, is that the current discussion going on in Yacht Club? Will the Expanse work with the mole? If that's the case, then yes, I think you can go back to Yacht Club and tell them old STARJUMP Grim broke the models apart and they look correct. It's all good. Most of them know that I like to tear the models apart, so they should believe you. They should believe you. Let's see here. Question from KSS says, I thought that they said that the Expanse is 80 SCU while the mole is 96. So a full mole cannot be processed by a single Expanse. Is this incorrect? That's a good question. I need to look up. Let's go. So the Expanse is 64 SCU. And so, yeah. So Expanse is 64 and the mole is 96, but we don't know. I don't know if that 96 is the mining SC. Let's see. Okay, so what is 1 second. So what's 8 times? Let's do. Stand by. I'm doing some math. So yeah, the mole can do 96 SCU. So an Expanse cannot fully do the amount of ore the mole can carry. These numbers don't seem to totally line up because I understand the discrepancy you're talking about. Even though this has 4 bags and the other one has 4 bags, but I guess it's possible that that's just a discrepancy maybe in the text. I mean, that wouldn't be the first time it's happened. I think info runners make sure to remind us all the time that those metric or those numbers sometimes on the website and all that can be bunk. So Robert, we believe the tractor beam from the concept art, it's on the back of the Expanse. It's while I don't have it here on this model, the tractor beam is back here on the rear, where this where this extraction holder is. You see this bit of geometry here. This is what holds a pod from the prospector, and the ore is pulled out. So the attractor beam's back there. This little thing up here, I don't really know what that is. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. It could just be cool greeble. I don't know. There's another nozzle back here that's probably for offloading refined material, I guess, because it's tied right into the reactors. So, yeah. Yeah, Junior, I mean, it's very possible. I could see, that the numbers being off. It also could be something where maybe that extra little bit of SCU is contained. I don't totally get it. And yeah, some of that can change with the cargo refactor. Mud Duck says, remember that the Prospector is entry level, the Mole is the next tier, the Expanse is also entry level, so we can expect another size refinery ship at that point. Yeah, I agree. I think we'll see another refinery ship, something a little larger. And then I personally feel like, I would love to see a competitor to the Orion, and I would love it to be a Drake Kraken, but with the cargo area essentially taken away and replaced with a modular refining factory. But I'm going off now. XQ says, do me a solid, look at the nozzle on the back and near the tractor beam. There are two of them, one top and one bottom, one for liquid gas and the other solids, maybe. That's on the back of the Expanse, I'm guessing. Let me turn off the lighting here to where I can see a little bit. Stand by. Okay. So yeah, it looks like this piece here. This piece here plugs into the top of the ore bag for extraction, but then it's got this other piece up here that is, yeah, I agree. It's different. It's pointed in a different direction. It looks like it's another nozzle, just pointed in a different direction. So yeah, I don't totally know what that is. Execute it very well could be, and if see, this model is one mesh, so I can't pull it apart. But you can see down in here, this arm is the retraction arm. So this slides out, and I think this whole thing probably has some sort of slight rotation to it. But then this plugs in, and then this bottom tray here, which holds the pods, it slides out as well. It's on rails. And then that is, let's go back to our media here. Yeah, right here. Now see here, it looks a little different. We only see the plug on the bottom, and then we see the tractor beam up top. But one thing to remember is that concept art, which is what this is not always accurate to the models they use for the hollow model, right? So this is the hollow model from the RSI website. So its rear end is a little, looks quite different from this rear end. So, we don't totally know what that's going to end up looking like. We know this is the rear end of the ship though, because you can see these little slats right here. And you can see this little retracting tray, but you can see those noticeable slats right here where my hand icon is moving. Those are right here. Those are those same slats. So we know that's the back of the ship. But I agree, Execute's a little, we don't, even this tractor beam here is something we haven't totally seen before, just even in its shape or something. It even has a MISC logo on it. It's like, is that a MISC tractor beam, I guess? Yeah. Again, I had talked to Gavin Rothery just the other day because I thought Gavin had designed this ship mainly because it has a cutaway, and Gavin really likes doing cutaways. Gavin designed the Argo Mole and the Raft and the Kraken and the Perseus and all that. and the Odyssey, more importantly, the Odyssey. And I was for sure that Gavin did the Expanse, but he said he didn't. He says that was not one of his ships. So, yeah. Again, for those that didn't see earlier, I'll pop off the pods here. You can kind of get a look at what the inside here of the ship looks like. You'll see this area here actually cuts all the way through. You can see through to the other side, but there's like a big tumbler grinder here. There's 6 spherical tanks up here at the top that plug they almost look like for gas or liquid, and they plug in directly up here as well. They look like the sort of tanks though that would hold a gas or a liquid. Yeah, Starlet, it extends out the back. It's on rails. It looks like it's on rails, some sort of rail system. That's what these are here. Yeah. Yeah, rail system, so it slides out a little bit. Yeah, Puppet, Bud Dog, yep, the Xeon tractor beam stuff may look a little different. Starlet, is there any geometry behind the back hull? So you're talking about in this like kind of cavity or this kind of bulbous area right here? I don't think so, because this is just a hollow model, so it's empty right now. But there's a lot of yeah, just a hollow area right now, but it's a lot of space. Let's see here what else we got. Tanks for fuel specific accomplished refining. Yeah, maybe spheres are structurally sound for anything high pressurized. Puppet, take it easy, man. Hope you have a great night's sleep. Get yourself some rest. We'll definitely talk tomorrow. Yeah, so the hollow models are almost always hollow. Excuse the pun, Starlet. Almost always, if I punch in here to the cockpit, yeah, you can see. They do that to keep the size of the ships down. Through the refinery here and then out the back. Yeah, so most of the time the hollow models specifically are hollow. So it's just the way they do it. Yeah, this was a pretty cool test here though with the moles bags. Cool to see that that's pretty much the same. The Argo one may have a slightly different shape, but essentially the same. Either way, regardless if these two bags are the same SCU size, regardless of that, they're still the same form factor, right? Or maybe these stretch down even a little bit further. I don't know once they fill up, but regardless, they're still going to fit into this cage here. Let me punch up here. They'll still fit into this cage that you're seeing up here and be able to pull that out regardless of if it's the same SCU or not. So let's see here. Facility, in order to accomplish compact refining, it seems a fuel or catalyst source would be necessary to ramp up power to compare to station refineries. That's an interesting point, Vasily. I didn't think about that. Maybe some sort of like additive or something to kind of, boost its output. Yeah, I could see that being the case. Starlet says, "What are those funky front wings? Rule of cool, Starlet." Course, rule of cool. There they are. They look like they have some greeble or something on them. Can't really quite make out what stuff is on the side. It's not the guns. For those wondering where the guns are, they're right here, tucked in on the nose. Those are its twin size ones, little tiny things up there. Yep, just rule of cool wings. Yeah, there it is. Myst Odyssey. Still got a little work to do for it for Fleet Viewer, but you know, again, it's coming along. For those of you curious about an update on Fleet Viewer, it's coming along. We're from, you know, there's kind of two things that have to happen for Fleet Viewer. Always an XQS. You think the gas mask on the chin of the ship does anything? You know, I was looking at that as well. I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff here. I think it's just visual. It's kind of the Jay Leno chin, but there's lights attached to it, guns attached to it, antennas. I think it's just, you know, interesting greeble, but I'm not 100% sure. So one thing I will say on Fleet Viewer, again, coming along really well. For those of you that have been keeping up on my Twitter, I've been releasing, you know, previews here. You know, for example, here is the Argo family photo. I've been releasing some like family photos of ships from the Fleet Viewer, including ships that have gotten some reworks that we've only seen in extremely rough holo models. For example, the Argo SRV here, Raft, Mole. Big thanks to VMXEO for all his help, of course. Idris M, Retribution. I think I did, pretty sure I did an RSI. Yeah, I recently did an RSI family photo here. So all the RSI ships. These are not to scale, by the way. So no need to say, hey, Aurora is that big compared to a Bengal. Yeah, totally no. These are just placed here to show off the asset in question. These will all be scaled in relation to each other. But, you know, we have the Argo, or sorry, the Argos. The Ursas, all the Auroras, both the Apollos, the Scorpius Mantis, all variants of the Connie, the Perseus, Cloud War Thunder, whatever it's called, the Bengal, the Orion, as well as the Mighty Polaris. Can't wait for the Polaris to come out. I own that ship. Really waiting on it. And then I also released a Drake family photo as well, including obviously all the cutlasses, including the steel, all three variants of the Dragonfly, the Caterpillar Pirate, the Corsair, the Buccaneer, Vulture, Herald, and the Kraken and Privateer. Quinn, yes, the Pegasus is an RSI ship. The Pegasus is just not done yet. It's one of the last few remaining ships still to do for Fleet Viewer. We're down to very, very few ships. I think we have the Valkyrie, which is being worked on right now, the Liberator, and the Anvil Ballista, the Tumbrel Cyclones. I mean, we're real close to the end. We're real close to the end. Info Runner, see, XQ says, where is the Execute Reclaimer? Well, I won't spoil the surprise for, you know, Easter eggs that will be in the Fleet Viewer, but you could rest assured that there will be some Easter eggs and special liveries will be included, especially liveries of people who have helped and supported STARJUMP from the very beginning. So you never know. Might be an Execute Reclaimer in the Fleet Viewer. Up to see. Someone asked about the Rangers. Who asked about the Rangers? Brian asked about the Rangers, right? Yes. We do have the Rangers. We have the CV. We have the RC. And we have the TR. So, yep, you'll get all the Ranger goodness. It's going to be every single ship vehicle in the game. Every single one of them. Every single one. Yeah, no problem there. We are getting every single single ship in the game, including concept ships. So ships like the Centaur EI, etc. So, yes, you'll be getting all those ships. I mean, I think I showed this earlier, but you're going to get, you'll get the Odyssey, you're going to get the Odyssey Wind Rider variant. So there's going to be a lot of variants in there. There's going to be, the Endeavor will come in a lot of variants. So there's Discovery version, the Hope version, the Olympic, there is the Super Collider, as well as the telescoped variant. So yeah, all the variants. I just noticed something. Execute. You'll like this. I just noticed that the telescope variant still says Algarid class. We'll have to fix that for Fleet Viewer, or maybe that should be an Easter egg. I'll have to check that. But yeah, no, we're gonna have all the ships. Don't worry about that. If there's a ship you like that's just not out yet, don't worry, it'll be there. We got the Apollos are gonna be fully represented. Yeah, there's nothing we don't have. We have it all. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate the compliments. Thank you. Execute. What else do we have? Yeah, Stern, the Starliner for sure. I personally hope the Starliner doesn't change a whole bunch. I personally really like the Starliner's kind of old classic kind of aerospace look. I hope they keep it, maybe with a few updates, to make it a little bit more in line with Crusader, but overall, I hope it retains much of its look and feel. I'm one of those people that I disagree with ships from a manufacturer all having to have a consistent look, because companies like Boeing, they make everything from spacecraft to fighter jets to passenger jets. You know what I mean? They don't share a lot. So anyway. Thank you, Scott. Really appreciate that. Yep, the whole team is rocking and rolling. Myself and the other collaborators are really close to having all the ships done. I mean, very, very, very close. We're down to the last few remaining ships. And then all this gets pushed to Starlet. Starlet's already worked on a lot of the back end already because she's built some test builds of the Fleet Viewer. It'll really just be her taking all that data and all the ships and pushing it through her pipeline. So yeah. Let's see here. Malachor, is there a link to the website for the viewer? So Malachor, the Fleet Viewer is not active yet. It's still being developed. We're getting close to being done with the ship asset side of it. But yes, you can go to hangar.link, which are amazing Starlet developed. It's usable now. There's a whole CCU chain calculator and stuff on there that's really helpful to use, especially for Invictus and sales like that come on. It allows you to it allows you to get to possibly save money on CCUing to certain ships. The Fleet Viewer will be integrated into HangarLink, and there may be some other stuff. Me and Starlet have a lot of talking to do about how to promote all that and name it and arrange it, but the Fleet Viewer will be a part of that. And Starlet's way smarter than I am, so you'll be able to pull import the JSON file from your hangar and all that awesome stuff. So yeah, she's the smart one on all that. And again, there's going to be cool Easter eggs. You're going to be able to view all the ships in your fleet from 4 different angles: top-down, isometric, top-down, isometric in front, top-down, isometric profile in front. Yeah. I'll give you a little example here if you haven't seen this. This is a very early work in progress that Starlet put together. kind of showing, again, very early version of the Fleet Viewer in action. You're gonna be able to zoom right down to these. You're gonna be able to do like 4K screenshots of your fleet. You can turn labels on or off. I believe Starlet might kill me if I say something wrong here, but I believe you're gonna be able to like move your ships around a little bit to kind of pose them. But you'll be able to zoom down, pretty close to stuff. And get detailed on it. Again, you'll be able to do it from 4 different views: front, isometric, which is what you're seeing here, top down, and profile. Malachor, it won't have paint swapping in the initial release, but we have started talking about how to do that, and it's something we want to do. I think we're kind of we want to get this first version out and functionable, and then for a version 2, like a bigger update later on down the road, we'll start looking at features like that. And then I think Starlet will probably integrate this into Hanger Link's CCU calculator in some ways, maybe eventually. Starlet had already sort of developed Hanger Link before she became a part of STARJUMP. And it was this and other ideas that she teed me up on that she wants to do that I was really blown away by. And when I saw them, I was just like, holy shit, you need to be in STARJUMP. So a lot of cool stuff coming. We've been saying for a long time that the Fleet Viewer's close, but it really is close. When I say a lot of ships are done, I mean most ships are done. Let me close this. We really only have left Tumbrel Cyclones, Anvil Ballistas, so both of those ground vehicles need to be done. The Valkyrie, the Liberator, the Gladiator, and I think maybe that might be it. It's close. It's very close. I won't give an exact date yet, but again, it's close. I don't want to put any undue pressure on Starlet. Me and the STARJUMP collaborators that are working on the ships, we are aiming to have all the ships done by the end of April. So all ships will be complete, will be pencils down, and all this will go to Starlet. And then she'll then be able to work on the integration of the ships into the Fleet Viewer backend for as long as she needs to. So no rush for her. Starlet says, Grim, did you cover the 2049 variants? Yes, Execute. I learned a lot about dates from CIG. Starlet, what are the 2949 variants? Are those best in shows? 2949 best in show skins? Best in show. Okay, so possibly. So we can do them. I have them set to go. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say, if not for the initial release of Fleet Viewer, I think for a .x release, so like a soon after update where maybe we go in and squash some bugs from the initial release, we could integrate the best in shows. We could probably integrate those. They might be in for release. I'll have to see. I got to talk to my other ship model partner and see if those can be made to happen. Yeah. Let me look at those. I think, there's no reason we can't. It's primarily just a livery change, so that there's no issue in doing them, especially when you consider that we've done specialty ships for the Fleet Viewer, even like, the Omega Mustang. So there's not an issue with doing the best in show skin. It was just priority. So yes, it still may make it in. For the initial release. It'll definitely get in. I just don't know if it's that initial thing. Yeah. Does anyone have a specific ship from the Fleet Viewer you want to see? A lot of the stuff has been shown. But yeah, it's getting there. We're very, very close. I can promise everybody I want this thing out as much as anyone else does. A couple little Easter eggs. There's one Easter egg right there. It says Grim on the side of the Kraken. Kraken is my favorite ship, so it was going to happen. There's going to be a lot of Easter eggs in this thing, I think. Which Javelin do you want to see, Starlet? The Standard or the Starlet Javelin? That's the real question. Scott wants to see the Apollo Medevac. That would be this ship. So the Kraken is, there's two variants. Yes, there is the standard Kraken, which is this. It's kind of got some reddish brown grays, but I pulled back the reds a little bit because it was hard to figure out what parts were red. And then the Kraken Privateers get a little bit more of a grayer look. Those will probably be color corrected down to be a little bit more accurate before I hand them over to you. Yeah. Actually, these are old. I have new Kraken renders. These are old renders. I just haven't comped them up. Drake Vulture. Yeah, Drake Vulture is done. Mostly done. It'll probably get another pass once the ship is in game. Oh, so Mud Dog, the PTV is not done yet. That is one of the ones. That is one that's not done yet, but it is being worked on. It is being worked on. It is being worked on. Mad Titan says the Orion. This gives you a chance to see how many ships are done. Most of what you guys and gals will request is done. There's our Orion. Corsair. One of my other favorite ships, the Drake Corsair. I'm a big Drake fan, obviously. Drake Corsair. Yep, Drake Corsair. This is another model. The Orion, or sorry, the Corsair is another model that'll look better and better as they get a better model available to us to work with. Again, we kind of have to go off of what they have. Polaris. I can show you the Polaris. This is fun. It's like I'm being challenged. There's a Polaris. What else we got? Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think the Orion came out pretty good for such a rough model. Yeah, I cannot wait for the Polaris. That's one of my favorites that I'm waiting for. Yep, definitely got the Dorito, the Nautilus, another favorite. I actually bought a Nautilus from Starlet, who was gracious enough to sell me her Solstice Edition, which is the Solstice Edition. And we also have the regular edition. Both variants for the Fleet Viewer. We do have the Mighty Herald. This one was done by a STARJUMP collaborator. Turned out great. Really amazing. Again, ships that are already in game typically are going to be much more detailed than the concept ships. Just keep that in mind. So a ship like the Herald is going to have a lot more finer detail than something like the Polaris, where all we have is a concept model. Some ships do have slightly unique lighting, Malachor. We've been going back and fixing that in some situations. It's not game lighting. It's like 3D linear daylight lighting. So in a sense, it's stylized, but so is the lighting in the game. It's stylized lighting. So the one thing I will say about the Fleet Viewer is that it's not trying to replicate the ships in game. It's just trying to replicate the ships from a high fidelity standpoint. But that's a good question, though. Text says, how hard will it be and how long will it take to update models once Fleet View goes live? Question for both Grim and Starlight. From a model standpoint, it's very easy, especially once a ship goes straight into the game or straight to flyable. We can have that ready and probably... We can have that ship ready for Fleet Viewer probably within an hour to 2 hours. And then however it takes Starlight to ingest it and update the site. For a concept ship, it probably will take about a day to get that new ship in because I'll have to texture it from scratch. So that's a great question, by the way. Really great question. Mad Titan says, will you add ships from lore? Do you have any specific ones in mind, Mad Titan? Obviously, the Retribution will go in. That's kind of a lore ship that will be in. What other ships do you have in mind? Yeah, exactly what Starlet says. So our only delay at this point is just going to be the huge backlog of ships that she has to ingest. Once she's ingested all those and we have the Fleet Viewer running, updating 1 or 2 new ships a quarter is not going to be a big deal at all. We can knock that out in a day. Let's see here. Is this competing with Starship 42's Fleet Viewer? So that's another great question, Malachor. So Lun Fasi, who is the creator of Starship 42, is a friend. He is supporting our project and we support his project. They are not competitors. And they also do slightly different things. So his will have a very dynamic camera. Ours focuses more on, a fixed camera, but high fidelity ships. So, and really in a way they complement each other. So I see sometimes people will post, oh, this is so much better than Starship 42 or vice versa. And I'm like, you really shouldn't think about that way. They're meant to sort of complement each other. And Lunfasi is a great supporter of our project, which is really awesome, and I support him. We've actually even shared some 3D models. So he's a super nice guy, and I really appreciate all his support. So Mad Titan, ships from lore, like the King ship. Mud Dog says Zeus. Trevor says the Driller. My duck says the Jupiter Carrier, etc. So the only problem with some of those ships, so the King ship, I do have the model for it, but it's an old model, and the King ship definitely looks different. Actually, the Driller as well. I have an old Driller model. I was going to put those in, but I've decided against it for a couple reasons. One, I don't want to ruffle CIG's feathers. They want to keep the Vandal fleet a surprise, but more importantly, I don't have the new Vandal fleet models, and I'm never going to get them because they're keeping those super secret. So those will not be in. The Zeus and the Jupiter, the problem with those is we don't know what they look like, so I don't know what we would be modeling. I could model the ship from scratch to get it in, but there's no descriptor for what it looks like. So the Pegasus will be in, though. The Pegasus will be in. And yeah, you're correct, my dog. There's no models for them, so we've never seen a picture of that stuff. Stern says, speaking of Squadron 42, there's bound to be ships in that game that won't come to the PU. You think you might include those in Fleet Viewer when Squadron 42 is released? Yes, definitely. Yep. 100%. If it, I will include those once Squadron 42 is out and I'm no longer breaking any sort of secret that CIG doesn't want to have out there. By the way, speaking of Squadron 42, gorgeous F8C Lightning, looking quite stunning, as well as one of my favorites, the F7A Hornet, looking really awesome. Love those ships. Boop, beep, boo. What else we got? Andir says, what was that spider drone called again? That's called the Cygnus mining drone thing. Yep, Brian just said it. Argo Cygnus. Possibly will be in the Fleet Viewer. Possibly. I'm discussing that with someone who has modeled the Cygnus to a high degree of fidelity, I'm discussing with that person using their model, but I want to make sure I have permission first. But there could be other cool things though. You know, I'd love to have something like Jericho Station in the Fleet Viewer, STARJUMP Station in the Fleet Viewer, maybe a jump gate, maybe one of the big jump gates, something like that, that you could spawn just to have it so you can see the scale, you know. Titan suits will be something you can spawn in the Fleet Viewer as an example. Oh, let's see, do I have those? Trying to see if I have those. Jeez, do I not have those? Standby. But yes, I'll probably have a few different sorts of Titan suits in the Fleet Viewer for people to check out. Stuff like industrial variants like you're seeing here, but then also like military variants and, you know, just regular variants. So there'll probably be a few different sort of Titan suits that you can spawn to just kind of have them sit next to your ship. That'll probably be another thing. Port Olisar would be really cool. Drake Leviathan. Maybe. Never know. Never know. Do I have... Let me see. Yeah, but definitely Titan suits of some kind will be in there for sure. By the way, if anyone wants to know when we keep saying Super Liberator, so the current Liberator is 119 meters long. I'm envisioning something I refer to as the Super Liberator, which will have the Liberator turn into a 240 meter long Super Liberator, complete with massive engines, stabilizing wings. The great thing about the Super Liberator is its increase in size allows it to carry a absolute monumental amount of ships. For example, if you had a whole bunch of arrows and Nova tanks, you could truly carry what can best be described as an armada. So it's just so ridiculous. Yeah, so this is the the Super Liberator. Yours for the very, very cheap price of $3,000. Yes, so Super Liberator, we revealed this on STARJUMP Station one day. Just having a lot of fun with it. You know? Someone call Chris now. Yeah. Hey, you know, you never know. Maybe I should post this on Twitter and see if Sandy can like it, and then she can tell Chris to take a look at it. You know, I would love a cool thing like this, though, just like a big platform ship. But that's really what the Kraken is, you know what I mean? The Kraken is really that. So, actually, if you want my best idea, I'll give you my best idea right now. So I think the best idea is for the Drake Kraken. We need to take the Kraken and we need to take its 2 underslung extra small hangars, duplicate those, and throw those on the other side of the Kraken to give it 4 extra small hangars. I personally feel like that's what the Kraken needs to be able to compete now with the Banu Merchantman, especially the Drake Kraken Privateer. I had a lot of people message me saying they like this idea, and it really wouldn't cause any issues with the internals of the Kraken, primarily because you already have the entry points from these extra small hangars into the air car corridor. All you would be doing is creating another set of doors on the other side, and there's already superstructure underneath the Kraken to hold that extra bit of hangarage. So, yeah. So as long as they upscale the Idris too. Starlet, do you really want them to delay the Idris even longer than it has been? But I do agree with you. I mean, look, the good thing with the Idris is it is going to definitely be the most detailed ship. 100%. 100%. Quinn, I don't think the train would be affected because so the train runs down the center spine and all you would need are doors on the port side to access the air car. I still think it would work. Yeah. Anyways, everybody, it is 1 p.m. I am going to have to go. It was really cool. I wanted to see how this stream worked, here on YouTube. It's my first time streaming on YouTube. I wanted to see how it would go and if it would work and all that good stuff. And you all were, even without any sort of warning that I was going to stream or anything, you all were very grateful to come and hang out with me for a while. I had a really good turnout. We had like 33, some odd people viewing at any given time, so that's great. That's way better than I do on Twitch. So I think for sure YouTube will be my new home for this type of streaming. So hopefully you like the content, hopefully you like the kit bashing and seeing what fits and all that kind of good stuff. I'm definitely going to do my STARJUMP Skunkworks show on here, which if you've never seen that, it's a show where we just take user ideas and we essentially create a new vehicle live on stream. So we do all the kit bashing and all that good stuff. And last time we did a kit or STARJUMP Skunkworks, let me switch over to it. We came up with this vehicle, which we called the Drake Crab. Which was sort of a refuel ground vehicle. Just had a lot of fun. We were just messing around. I mean, none of this. And we kit bashed like a tumbrel and a vulture and a rock, and we just smashed stuff together. We took one of the tanks off the back of the Starfarer and just had a lot of fun and created this vehicle. So we do all kinds of fun stuff like that. So if you enjoy the stuff, hang out with us next time. Hope you all enjoyed it. Until next time, I will probably be streaming this weekend some Skunkworks and probably some Fleet Viewer stuff. And then, like I said, next week we'll be doing STARJUMP Station right here on YouTube. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks for all the compliments on Fleet Viewer stuff. Really appreciate it. To all the other collaborators over there in chat, Starlet and people like Execute, Mud Dog, and just everybody showing up tonight. Pops in Space, everybody. I don't want to leave anyone out. Ben Rutherford, Scott Black, Ann Deere, Frazier, Mad Titan, just goes on and on. Quinn, we had so many people show up. Scott F, just Malachor, Brian, just man, so many of you all hanging out, talking, chatting with us. Until next time, stay well, fly safe.